What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Sweat It Out podcast. Today we have an amazing guest. He's a master coach. He's an innovator, an inventor. This guy is a creator of the HydroCore, partnered with Onnit. Please help me welcome the one and only Maurizio Tangari. How's it going, brother?
Very good, guys. Thanks for having me. So excited about this. We planned this for a long time. Finally, we're here.
We made it happen, right? That's what counts.
Yeah, exactly. Make things happen. That's what we do.
That's the that's always the goal, right? You got to accomplish the goal. You got to make sure that you're able to make these connections, right? Because they're so important, especially within the fitness industry, I think, right? To be able to connect with people like yourself, we feel really honored that we have this platform to be able to do so, and to be able to hear stories like yours, learn how, I would really like to dive into how you created the HydroCore. I have one myself, so I really,
awesome.
Yeah, of course, I love it. I love using it. So, before we jump into all that, how's everything been for you over the pandemic? We like to kind of, see how people have been able to, be creative, be innovative, even within their daily lives over the course of, what has been going on, 11 months now or so?
Yeah.
So how have things been for you?
Well, I mean, it was kind of a shock at the beginning because you have to consider that we pulled out HydroCore on the market October. I was like before Black Friday or something like that last year. So it's already a year. And, the pandemic and the things started happen, all over around the world. And, eventually I realized the will come also here. People was kind of on denial, I can say, hey, this is going to hit all over the place. And I was scared because, putting a product on the market, when I say, what are people going to buy? What going to happen? I was scared because I worked hard on this for years, right? And, everything went well because people, kind of to find different way to work out and, stay active. And HydroCore was a good opportunity, even people that they never seen it, they didn't know how to use it or had any background, they bought it just, to be able to stay in shape or stay active. So I have to say, it's not like, nice to say, but I have to say the kind of the pandemic helped the product in that way, but, the product helped the people to go through the pandemic. And so that's a good thing, what I'm saying. And since then, I kind of to reinvent myself, I have to say it was a good opportunity to take the step to go online. Because I always was resilient, like a lot of trainer, right? I don't like do things online. But, they say, hey, man, we need to do things online now. That's what is the world now. And later or now we need to do it. So I kind of, now do everything online. I don't meet any person for months, we just pulled out our HydroCore 12 weeks program is going pretty well. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to see around you people struggling. Some people, I think they made a bad choice in the sense that they didn't see this coming, even it was coming. You see that coming, right? And they didn't want to take action, in time. And, unfortunately, that's what hit them hard, right? That's what it is.
No, 100%. And I think we can all agree that, if you were a company or a person who took advantage of the time being of where we're at now, especially at the beginning, and you really dove into what you're doing and paying attention to it and not being scared of what the unknown will be, I think we can agree that a lot of people are, seeing the fruits of their labor coming out now and seeing the rewards they're getting out of it, especially in the health and fitness field, where a lot of things got shifted to the online at-home basis. And a lot of these coaches and trainers that took advantage of that, and just like yourself, your product and other products that are at-home based products that can be used anywhere, are really doing really amazing things, and their companies are breaking sales records. They're getting it in the hands of multiple people to stay in good health and shape. So I definitely think that for the health and fitness industry, for sure alone, there's a huge shift and impact and change in the way that it's going to continue to operate down the road. So I definitely would like to hear about just a little bit of what are your thoughts on how the fitness and health industry is going to shift as we move out of the COVID phase. Obviously, it's going to stick around. It's always going to be around. But as we go through the hardcore lockdowns and all that stuff and things start to operate what you would call normal again, what do you think is going to be for the fitness industry moving forward?
Well, I don't know about that, because the thing is this. I'm seeing a lot of clients willing to learn remotely a lot. I mean, all this app doing the coaches doing online and give things to do it. A lot of people are very accountable. They really dedicated and do this and stay in shape. They realize, I mean, this is the only option. When you put someone in shoulder to the wall, I mean, what are you going to do, right? They say, hey, man, gym, forget about it, right? So let's take action. And I saw people, they were not even close to say, I want to join a gym. And they got HydroCore, a friend of mine. They say, man, can you help me out with this? And now they're using it every day. They're using it every day, even if you go for a little walk, because totally put on the shoulder, you go for a walk. So I think that what will lead the fitness industry is the fact that people now they're more willing to learn remotely. They're more dedicated to learning remotely and don't go to the gym. Because if you think about it, some people, they had no time to go to the gym. I mean, it looks like kind of an excuse. Sometimes we say all the time, oh, no excuses. You have no time. This bullshit. But it's true, man. If you have 5 kids and, at work 7 a.m., 5 p.m., you really don't have time, to go to the gym. So, and make it an effective way to work out at home, while your kids, do homework, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Everything need to be more effective. We need to optimize the workout. People don't have time to spend 2-3 hours at the gym. Now the gym is closed. What are they going to do? 20 minutes workout, 30 minutes workout, is already good enough, to stay in shape. A walk, 30 minutes walk every day is good enough to stay in shape. So I think us as a trainer, the fitness industry need to customize better, what we're doing for the people. It's not like reversing and waiting the people come to the gym or coming to us. It's what we offer to them. Optimize time for workout, and tools, they make you possible to work out at home. You see how many tools they came out. I mean, sometimes some they look stupid, but if you think about it, man, you have an option, attach the thing to the freaking door and pull it, that's what you have to do it,
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no option. We need to adjust around the needs there now in the world. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, I think you brought up a couple really good points there. From the coach perspective, looking at the client, right? One of the big question marks with online training has always been, how do you really hold people accountable, right? It's always been a problem. If I just give you an online program, or even if we do a weekly Zoom call or something, the rest of the time I'm not seeing you, compared to if I were in person, seeing you 3, 5, maybe even 7 times a week, right? So I can hold you a little more accountable face to face. But it's been really surprising to see how the client has, or our clients, I should say, have responded to that, right? And they have been holding themselves accountable, and they have been doing the things that they need to do in order to succeed with their health. And a lot of that does come down to optimizing their schedule. Mendez and I talk about that all the time, right? Making sure that you're a master of your schedule, that you have a high quality, morning and evening routine, and all of these really key components that I don't think a lot of coaches were thinking about before. They're now thinking about that. And I think in part it's because they have to go through that themselves, right?
Yep.
If we've been stuck at home too, no one was allowed outside during the lockdown. So we had to get innovative. We had to get creative with okay, how are we going to stay focused? Our whole lives were upended in the fitness industry, mainly because we were so used to working on, maybe 30-minute or hour-long blocks every day, all day. And now we don't have that, and maybe we have a couple Zoom calls or something, or Zoom sessions, but a lot of our free time is available to us sitting at home, so finding those creative ways, finding those innovative ways to make sure that you're staying on top of your tasks. And I know Mendez goes through that a lot with his coaches and his business, has been, such a key to, I think, how successful everyone has been over the pandemic when it comes to, you know, either trying to get healthier, maintaining their health, or from the coach's perspective, you know, being able to share their expertise with more people.
Absolutely. I've seen a lot of people get involved more in yoga and mobility, which is a great thing. Things they usually skip, like when they are at the gym, they want to go straight into the workout. And now they found more time. That's why, you know, we talk about also the mobility program, which is pretty good. The people do every time, even when they don't work out. And that's a good thing because they realize, man, yeah, I'm stuck at home. I'm working from home. I have a friend who's a lawyer. He has his HydroCore next to the desk at home. And then he say, hey, man, he keep me so accountable because sometimes it's just like, you know, I need to stand up and then I just do some spin or some squat and things are shaking around. It's kind of feel like, you know, like the dog when releasing the stress to shake himself, right? Yeah. It feels good, right? So the fact that you have the tool there looking at you, you know, it's kind of feel, oh, let me do 10 pull-ups. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, things that when you're outside of the gym at home, you don't want to do anything, you know, just sit on the sofa. But, you know, if you have the tools around, the things you feel guilty, you want to do it. It's like being in the gym and not working out, right? It's like just cruising in the gym. What the fuck am I doing here? But if you have tools all over the house, like a kettlebell, just lift it 10 times in between, like, you know, Zoom call, right? Maybe you guys do that all the time, right? So that's a cool thing, you know.
So, Maurizio, I got to ask you, and I know you have one there with you, is for the audience who's never seen the HydroCore, what is it that sets itself apart from all the other portable tools out there, and what makes it so unique?
Well, I mean, obviously, you know, the portability, you know, which is something that, you know, during the pandemic was really not necessary. The reason why I designed the HydroCore, obviously, is no brain. Even you guys are probably familiar with the Bulgarian bag. I've been a master trainer of Bulgarian bag for years. You know, probably I was one of the pioneer when nobody knew what he was. And I was kind of exploring this new direction into the fitness, you know, discover the functional fitness, what we call functional fitness, unconventional training, what it is. So the design is very similar to the Bulgarian bag. And because I was so passionate, so into the Bulgarian bag, I mean, I loved it. You know, I started like, you know, this spinning, three-dimensional movement, dynamic coordination, you know, more like, you know, multitask, attention during workout. I loved it. I loved it. It keep me so engaged. But the struggle I had, you know, like, you know, when you love a tool, you want to bring it anywhere, right? Yep. You love kettlebell, maces. I want to bring it anywhere. And it's just kind of unrealistic sometimes, right? So I said, I want to bring the bag. I mean, you have an idea how many Bulgarian bags I left behind because I was excited to travel with. It's in the back. You have souvenirs, you have stuff. And say, okay, what I'm doing now. So like, okay, you want a Bulgarian bag? And then leave it like in Hawaii. Probably I left 3 there, you know, things like that. So I said, man, I want to make it transport. So I was like kind of figure out a way to do that, you know, and the beginning was just, you know, something for myself, you know, and then I realized that maybe something other people would like to do it. But, you know, the thing was, and still, you know, there was not really a lot of people like liking or understanding about the Bulgarian bag movement, you know, like more sandbag and things like that. So the fact that make unique, definitely transportability, but versatility is something that probably you at some point realize that because you're using the bag. Oh, yeah. You're not just using as a weight, is the way the dynamic, the water moving inside. So it's kind of, you know, also you don't need to load yourself more. I mean, it's less load and more like, you know, dynamic of the water. You can use the air inside the bag. It's like just compressing the bag, the air inside. You make effective, you know, the handle. You can make a full mobility workout. You can, you know, use as a trigger point or release, you know, little discomfort from your body. I mean, there's a lot of going on at the tool, but, you know, I kind of found out in process. I had no idea what I was doing when I did the back thing. It's just funny that everybody, you know, first my wife said, what the fucking is that? You know, it's like a thing. The first prototype. And at the first sight, you know, you think can be, that's what people, the feedback you have, people, they never use it, they don't understand about that. They think, oh, I'm going to pull out my shoulder, right? You know, doing the spin and things like that. But, you know, when you start using it, if you just carry on, just like, you know, bring it here to squat and lunges, you feel them moving there, give a very quick feedback to your core. That's, as a trainer, the struggle we have right away, you know, with client, engage your core. How many times you told the client to engage the fucking core?
If I had a nickel for every time I said that to someone,
engage the core. The fucking is the core. What is the core? Like the G spot in the girl, right? You know, what is it? Nobody know what is it.
You know, it's what I really love about the HydroCore is that core stability aspect of it, you know, and not so much when most people think of core, you know, they think sit-ups, crunches, planks, you know, maybe if they know what they're, you know, a little bit more about fitness, they're talking about dead bugs and stuff like that. But there's no understanding of what the function of the core really is, right? And part of it is for transfer of energy, you know, and your ability to stabilize through that transfer of energy. Well, you're getting that actually inside of the tool itself with the HydroCore, right? It's got the water shifting inside, so automatically, and you were right, even with things like squats, all of that water movement, you really do have to be cognizant of what your core is doing, how activated it is, and then, you know, adjust for the variability in the movement.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I never say once to a client, engage the core. Now they use the back, because right away, you know, but the first time he's kind of, oh, the second time he was already like engaged. I don't need to say that. So that's a very interesting, you know, point, you know, perspective there is the feedback is so bang right away. You say, oh man, if I don't do this, you know, I wobble and I fall, right? It's different than a sandbag. It's different than in a completely filled, you know, load, or like a kettlebell or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think too, in this, you could kind of extrapolate to a lot of the other unconventional tools like steel club, maces, but in particularly with the HydroCore bag, people are now performing something when they exercise that they don't normally do, right? And that's using their intention, right? Really thinking about what they have to do and the complexity of the movement before they do it. And that's something for years that trainers have been telling, like, you gotta be mentally locked into what you're doing with the movement, no matter if it's a dumbbell or a kettlebell or a barbell or, you know, the HydroCore. And because of the instability of the HydroCore, it automatically forces you to be more focused and be more in tune with how your body's moving in relation to how the bag is moving.
What I realize is, I mean, I teach also other stuff, right? You know, bodyweight movement, you know, Klebel, you know, kind of, you know, not a lot of maces, but, you know, I'm familiar with the product, you know, other stuff that require, you know, dynamic, you know, energy, right? You know, momentum, you know, inertia and everything. And I realize a great like regression tool. You know, for example, if I want to bring someone towards the Klebel, for me, it's so easy to use HydroCore. There's movement that can resemble like a cast or a mill, and I'm just using the bag empty or with 1 pound of water. Even if you jam yourself or just fly away from your hand, you know, nothing happened. You can just let go anytime. Things that even with like, you know, 5 pounds Klebel, you cannot do it. And it's so easy to bring and to understand the movement. At the end, just replace one with the other. So it's a good, like, you know, link towards, you know, tools that other time require like a learning curve that's like months. We know that, like for a Klebel, for a kettlebell, you know, sometimes the people like you don't know how to use it, don't want to get involved because it's too intimidating. And, oh, it hurts here. Yep. Okay. Oh, the wrist bending, and all these excuses, right? That, you know, require time. We learn, I mean, probably you guys are pioneer of these tools like me, right? You know, the Klebel, the kettlebell, like, oh man, this pain here, how many times, or
like
the hand peeling, you know, all the hand, and, you know, the wrist bending with the Klebel, things like that. So it give a good opportunity to get close to this tool with less intimidation, and kind of, for example, there is one movement that someone want to learn the Klebel. I start doing like the mill, like, you know, in 5 minutes with the bag. In 5 minutes, I teach you how to do the mills and things, which require months and months and months. And then right away, I get a little Kleb, like 5 pounds. they do in the mill right away,
right?
Because they metabolize the motion right away. So that's a good thing. So that's why I suggest that use as a regression tools instead of going straight into.
Yeah, and I think too. Yeah, I think too that you're good. Yeah, you're good. I think too that you can all, and this just popped in my head, is like you can use the HydroCore as like a prep for mills and stuff like that, right? As well, because if you use it empty or even with a pound of water, and I go to 10 or 15, I'm even doing like 25-pound mills. It's a good prep work just to kind of get the joints lubricated and get them moving.
Absolutely, yeah. Lubrication of the joint, in those kind of movement is the must. Things that you can already produce at full speed with the empty HydroCore. Otherwise, you need a little clevel, to do that type of movement, which already require too much, dedication and coordination that people don't have. And that's what we lack into the fitness industry: coordination, like, the connection of the brain with the movement, with your joint, you don't require, people just, 10 times up, 10 times down. That's it. Don't really lubricate. Whatever stretching you're doing doesn't do anything in the matter of functional or tridimensional movement,
Mendes, have you ever used those wooden Indian clubs? I would love to see you with those.
I have used them, but I gotta use them more.
Yeah,
So I did a course like months ago, the little India club. Man, I felt so stupid. I felt so.
Oh, I'm a clown. Yeah, I look like I'm just throwing bowling pins around.
It's not funny. It's not easy.
No,
it's not easy. So knowing that these tools, when you get them in your hands for the first time, the same way we got a kettlebell, a mace, Vipers, you got the, obviously we got the HydroCore. Especially as coaches, even knowing that it's challenging for us, for an individual out there who's just, somebody who wants to, better themselves, during a time like this. It's a portable product. It's great. They can use that at home. What's your best suggestion to approach that tool, especially if you're starting off, who somebody doesn't have a coaching background and they're maybe fairly new to working out? They've never used an unconventional tool. What's your best approach and suggestion to that person who might be listening, for them to be able to approach your tool and start just getting their feet wet and start growing from there?
Well, I mean, obviously, people are going to train home, and then approaching those type of tools can be very hard. We know the learning curve of kettlebell is huge. I mean, and again, the things I like about Onnit, for example, we're talking about Onnit, that they make it approachable, make it easy, available for anyone, even a kettlebell. I don't know if you had the chance to attend, the kettlebell, training program, the durability.
Definitely.
Or other program. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to approach, that's amazing because, I started, the kettlebell with an ex-Spetsnaz in Italy. So it was not the best way to, like, you got to do the job, motherfucker, things like that. Don't cry, little bitch, things like that, right? Mm-hmm. And when I start doing the say more involved in the Bulgarian bag, I'm kind of figure out about the Bulgarian bag by myself. But when I start doing really workout and get involved, was with the next Navy SEAL. So I went for the Spetsnaz, the Navy SEAL, the worst possible in the planet you can train with.
No sympathy there. They're like, listen, this is nothing. Nah. This is not. Get waterboarded for 30 minutes and then
exactly,
and then come back and tell me.
Don't even try pulling the tear, like things like that. So that was very hard, approach. It kind of my expenses because sometimes you cannot complain about pain. And, they push you really, your pain like very very high. Yeah, exactly. So. I mean, now we are lucky because we have out there like coach that are respectful. They learned, how to use these tools at the teeth from years and years and years. My suggestion is like they're online, they're great coaches. I mean, I can say like, for example, one coach that admires Mark Wildman. You know what, Mark Wildman?
Yep. Yeah, he's great.
I mean, he's great. He's great. He's amazing, dude. You know, he uses HydroCore. He's a good friend of mine. With the Klebel, he's amazing. His language, the way he explains things, they're amazing.
What's his social media handle?
Well, I mean, he's on Instagram, Mark Wallen. He has a big, huge YouTube channel. I mean, if you guys are interested, I can put you guys in touch because he's amazing.
That'd be great.
Yeah, now he's traveling a lot because he trained a lot of Hollywood stars for movie and things like that. Since the movie industry is kind of, you know, stale, he's decided to take a break and traveling a lot. He's in LA. And but he's producing a lot of material. Eventually, we will do something together with HydroCore because he also pulled out there on his. If you're on YouTube channel, you have a lot of amazing video. But you will fall in love with his language, the way he explains things is amazing. So, and there is coaches out there that are amazing. They can explain, they can drive you towards the tool, or there is like courses like, you know, the durability program or the kettlebell program of Onnit. That, you know, it's always a matter of that. Choose wisely. That's what it is, right? You know. So and the mistake is some people just approach to like, oh, I can watch some YouTube video. Oh, I can figure out things. With these tools, you cannot figure out shit. You know, I mean, it's not a dumbbell.
Often.
Yeah,
we see all these people like, well, this looks cool. I'm gonna try this.
If you would have only seen some of the shit that I saw when I worked in a corporate gym with the steel clubs and the maces, I mean, like people in like a split stance position, like swinging the club around like this. With like a 15-pound club. I'm like, you're definitely. To go back to your joke about throwing your shoulder out, like that's how you're gonna throw your shoulder out,
and you're gonna whack somebody's face.
Yeah, or break a mirror or break somebody's face. Like, you know, it's. Or I'd be like working with a client and they'd be doing like a 360 swing with a mace, and someone would walk right behind us. When they would see us from 15 feet, we're the only one in the area of the gym, and they just come right behind us while we're doing 360s. Like, you're not being intentional about what you're doing in the gym, right? Like you're just wandering around, going machine to machine, not really knowing what, right? It's you know, you got to be.
Well, that's the things, you know. If I remember my experience with the kettlebell, for example, okay, because my approach to the functional training was because I was competing professionally, like windsurfing, kite surfing in my early age, and it was beat me up a lot. I mean, I'm talking about like, you know, this wind. Go in the water, spend 8 hours a day in the water.
That's brutal.
Wow. No warm up, no mobility, no rehab, nothing. Just like back then, it was like, you know, hey man, you gotta go in the water. I'm talking really serious 8 hours in, like peeling, like, you know, almost like a fish, right? It was crazy. So, and imagine that beat your body up for years and years and years. So I had like major epicondylite, shoulder, like, you know, discomfort, you know, with age, you know, they come out more and more and more. So the doctor told me, like, you gotta get a shoulder surgery, you know, like, yo, get the pill, get the surgery, like easy, right? No, like a process of rehabbing or figure things out. So, and then I did research, and then I started looking at this weird tools, the kettlebell. I mean, talking about like 11 years ago. I mean, so like, you know, this ugly YouTube video, Russian dude in like in spandex, like a circus style with the thing here, like, you know.
My God.
Well, you gotta pull up that clip.
Yeah, you gotta
send that to us.
You gotta send us a picture of that. We'll use it as a thumbnail.
So I was looking at this video and said, man, this look interesting. This tool, this cannonball, like, you know, thing, you know. But the things that fascinated me was specifically Turkish get up.
Okay.
Because I was seeing, like, you know, yeah, I mean, there's like, oh, this movement is, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you have to use the entire body. I mean, so it looks so simple, but it's so like engaging, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do so one and you'll find out it's not so simple.
Yeah.
Even with the light, even with the just
no kettlebell.
Yeah, no kettlebell, just putting something on your hand.
My favorite thing to do is put the yoga block on people's fists and then just watch it fall down within 5 seconds.
Put a cup of water.
Yeah. So it was funny because, you know, I said, okay, I got to order this stuff. So I went online, I found this company. I remember they was making this very rough, ugly kettlebell, you know, different sizes back then. There was not really in Italy possibility to find the competition kettlebell. It was just like, you know, this ugly things, so measuring things. And So I started holding 28 kilo kettlebell, like crazy weight,
massive.
right? So, okay, I'm strong, right?
Jumped right into it.
Oh, man. When he came to my house, I said, what if, I mean, you can even like, stuck to the ground, like he's screwed to the ground. I remember the FedEx guy. I never seen him again. He's
like, "Fuck this guy's house.
Fuck you, asshole." I didn't sign for this. But so it was fun. You say, kind of, say, man, I need to understand. So I did the research. And then I found the Pavel Tsulin cassette.
Oh, the legend.
The old school.
Man, talking about the cassette. So I still have in Italy, my house.
Wow.
The VHS.
VHS.
Yeah.
Oh, man, VHS. You have to put it in and push it.
You have to rewind it yourself. Or did you actually have or you had the VCR that would do it for you?
Oh, I had one of those rewinders. Yeah, those are the best.
With the pen.
Yes.
No, so what's fun is to see this dude, Russian dude, with this American, Russian accents playing it, camarada, do this and that. I say, okay, this is too much, but, at least it's something to learn, right? Mm-hmm. So I was learning through him. But the only thing I was doing, I did like 3 months straight Turkish grab. With started with back then they were not making less than 8 kilo. Well, 60 pounds there was nothing less than that. So I said, okay, that's what it is. So I was starting with the shoe, with the cup of water to get familiar with the movement, but ugly, like the elbow bending, the shoulder, So then, man, when I was mastering, earning the movement better and better, after probably 1 month, I realized my shoulder pain went away. It was good. So I'm fucking doing this all day. I was using things. Still, I was able to master with 28 kilo. Which is, a serious amount of weight. It's heavy. I was like, man, fucking crazy. I never expected to do that in my life. The technique was so good, so perfect. And then it's funny because I had a friend of mine in my hometown. He said, what the fuck are you doing all day? This thing,
yeah, rolling around on the ground, crawling.
Yeah, go ahead, try. They don't even oh fuck, That means when you respect something, right? More like you say, it looks stupid, but man, I even moving less than that. So man, the shoulder pain went away. I started kitesurfing again. I started thinking so good, and then I started getting involved, in the Bulgarian bag, researching, and the Klebel, and then get up the approach with the CST, the tax fit system. I don't know if you're familiar with tax fit.
Oh, yeah.
So talking back then, 10 years ago, with the tax fit things in Italy, and I became a master trainer, get more involved in this functional world there. But again, going back to your things, is always the way, the approach, and we learn, probably you guys learn, at your own expense, approaching to a tool with no knowledge, and you kind of, get humbled from the tool and then say, okay, let me get a different perspective and see, I can approach, with the tools in a better way, right? That's the things. Mm-hmm. So get the coach, get the right coach. There's a lot of amazing coach out there. Research, do your research, get feedback, and then that's the way to go. Online, they teach online, so that's the way to do it.
And I think now more than ever, we've some of these tools have been around for years. Some information to a certain degree has been around from, obviously, if you go back to some of the old school guys. But I think what's really, have you seen skyrocket, what you want to call the unconventional methods, has been the comings of online and social media. I think especially around, we would agree, 2013, 2014, 2015.
Yeah, 2016. I think Onnit played a big role in that, right? TacFit's obviously been around for a long time, and they're really making a big push with their certifications now. Kettlebell Kings, when they started coming out with their certifications. I think once the certification circuit really started to roll, I think, because there was a big boom in that, I feel like, at the mid to late 2010s, where everyone was going and taking certs. Everyone was, coming out with a new cert. You saw them popping. I think that's really when it hit big, and social media played a big role in that because everyone was going and taking them.
Oh my God, this looks cool.
And then
oh my God, what is
stuff.
this? Yeah. Oh my God, I want to do that. I want to move like that. And it's just it's really interesting to see the way that it's grown and how rapidly it's becoming more aware Obviously, at the same time, granted, there's a lot of shit that you see on social media that they're doing with these
absolutely.
tools that you're like, oh my
Absolutely.
god,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, back to your point about getting humbled by the tool too, right? Is I tell people all the time, a huge turning point in my career where I was really able to make a shift was when one of our good friends, Kavan Daly, who I was working with at Equinox at the time, introduced me to the Steel Club. You know, because I had been in strength and conditioning for 6 years, and then I became a competitive power lifter. And at that point in time, if it wasn't, you know, Olympic lifting, like very intense plyometrics or bench squat and deadlift or military press, I didn't want to hear about it. You know, there's nothing that was going to help my clients more than powerlifting or, you know, strength and conditioning, like true athletic strength and conditioning. And he goes, all right, come fuck around with these steel clubs with me. And, you know, he was playing around with like a 20, or a 25. I was using a 20, and we were doing two-handed mills, and his looked smooth, like real smooth. And mine looked like absolute dog shit. I mean, I have the video on my Instagram. You have to scroll down a long way to find it, but I mean, horrendous. I still go back and show people, like, listen, even I moved like shit back then, you know? And it was terrible. And I was watching him and feeling how I was moving, and I kept watching him, and then I kept feeling how I was moving, and I was like, why does he look so good, and why do I feel so bad? And then I realized, well, okay, there are levels to this shit. You know, like there are different approaches you can take to get to the same end goal. You know, and it really depends on, back to what you were talking about at the beginning of the podcast, like customizing it to the person you're working with, what they really enjoy doing, and what's more beneficial for them. And then that's when I started really diving into, you know, steel clubs and bodyweight training like Animal Flow. And then I got into maces and took the durability cert on it. And then obviously eventually came across HydroCore. And, you know, it's been a huge turning point in my career, and it's helped me have tremendous success in the field. You know, so I always like to share that story with people to tell them, like, you know, I was even humbled by these unconventional tools.
Absolutely. I mean, you just remind me, like, you know, some YouTube video. I don't even remember the channel. Probably if I Google, it's some old YouTube channel I used to have back then. I was just like, you know, I was looking what the fucking I was doing, you know, like what is that movement with the kettlebell, you know, but, you know, there was the passion. You always drive with the passion, you know, you love something and you want to do it. And this is something that, you know, I mean, going back on the education and the coach you try to found, you know, there is always an evolution in tools and system, you know, and that's what always I encourage, you know, the way I'm running, like, you know, my workshop is always like, say, man, prove me wrong, evolve. Okay. Don't take what I'm saying for granted. Don't, because I invented the tool, I wrote the Bible of HydroCore. I didn't wrote shit. They need to be written from everybody together using, you know, you using with your style, your skills, your experience, your background, that you can evolve the tool and makes it different. And we see like what happened from Pavel to Onnit, you know, the evolution of the tool, how to make it more approachable a system. I mean, with TagFit, it was amazing, was fun. Look at Animal Flow now. Yep. Look at Ido Portal. It's just amazing in the way. I mean, how many fucking sit-through we did it? You know, and everywhere in the world, see people doing sit-through. There's like that rock, like, you know, I mean, it's an ascent movement. This fucking sit-through.
Yeah, it's a staple in Instagram feeds all over the world.
No, but
you know,
you hit it spot on, man. And I gotta tell you, you know, just this information, I think it's amazing for people to hear, you know, the fact, you know, you bringing on, you know, the way that the way the use of the tools, and then of course the way that, how do you say, the evolution of the different ways that, you know, these companies and new companies and, you know, new methods are being incorporated with it, and just seeing the growth of it is extremely beautiful, you know. And I think another thing you mentioned was, you know, that you didn't write the Bible for HydroCore. You didn't write the set rule standards. This is the only way, or this is what you have to do, or, you know, these are the instructions. No, it's go create, go use your art form, you know, go discover. Here's a tool, go approach it in many different ways and figure out what you can do with it. And I really like that, because I feel that there are a lot of tools and components where people feel like I'm only, you know, boxed into these certain movements because that's what I was taught, or that's because what they said, or that's what, that's what's right and this is wrong. And it's just like, in all honesty, if you stay within the safe realm, and you understand what's safe and what's not, then go explore. And I really like that you brought that up, because I definitely think that for a lot of coaches that's going to help them.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. The reason why I pulled out myself out from a lot of system, mostly TACFit, the Bulgarian bag, Bulgarian bag, obviously I was kind of creating a HydroCore, but it was very hard to have a voice. It was very hard, impossible. They're so protective. Most of the systems so freaking protective. They're not willing to evolve or change anything. They really believe they create the Bible.
RKC.
They really do
sorry.
that.
Oh man.
So yeah. So like all these people, they're so arrogant, right? They're so like, the thing is, we're driven by passion, when we learn a tool, we're excited now with social media to share our experience, and, like you say, looking back, your first Instagram video, looking now after years and years, how you evolved, how you got better. But, when, for example, before TACFit or, the Bulgarian bag things, people were putting out, so, okay, get a Bulgarian bag, get a Klebel, let me think, I'm excited to share these things on social media. Bang! Thousands of people crucifying this poor dude because he was putting the wrist like 3 inches out of place, right? I'm not talking even like, crazy mistakes, I say, what are you doing? Why you do that? You need to learn from, I dare you to post this without being certified and things like that, everyone is going to start somewhere, right? And, some of these coaches online or, coaches that belong to the system, they're so ready to kill you. They're so ready. And it is like, really, I want to get in Goda? Really, I want to get in TACFit? No, man, you fucking assholes. You're a group of assholes that don't even help me out to figure things out, Instead of like encouraging them to get better or to get close to the system to learn more, they just like, they kill them, on social media. They kind of blackmail them.
That's like
just crazy.
Like functional patterns. Remember when that guy was like,
man.
4 or 5 years ago? That guy was just going fucking off on everybody, everywhere.
Calling out a ton of people.
Everywhere. He was going on. And it's like, I know a lot of people that use functional patterns and they enjoy it and their clients see results, but you turn so many people off when you're telling everyone to go fuck themselves.
Yep.
It's just crazy. That dude was crazy, and it's so like, that's the thing. I started looking his shit because he was cool. I was, oh man, he had a point.
He had some amazing marketing.
Oh yeah, and all of a sudden he went like nuts. This is what happened between Goda and David Weck. They killed each other on social media, and then we are just outside looking. I mean, it's not nice seeing like the person that you want to be, the person you admire, fighting like a little bitches on, so I'm better than this, I'm better than that. My coach is better than this. Goda called me out on social media once.
Oh, really?
Because, man, it was fun.
We got to hear that.
Oh, yeah. There's an old post where I was testing a new product for a company that I was like endorsing, like, the Edge crossbar. I don't know if you have seen it, Edge crossbar. And so I was showing it at the gym, a guy that liked something. And so he took a video, he posted on social media. And so the Goda loco, what he did, he got a snapshot of me like in transition between, like, it was like a pop-up squat, like, popping up. Like I was like, he took a snapshot and he was, he does all the blue line and things, all the shit there. I said, look at the knee, look at the position of this and that, this is going to break, you're going to go to the hospital, things like that. So like, thousands and thousands of people. This was edited with other video, the cool things was he mixed me up with the professional like athletes from football, baseball. Great. So I was kind of good.
All publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, nice, right? but it was like, just talking shit about them and everything, and a friend of mine say, hey man, Goda called you out on this and this and that. So I look at the video, say, this is not even a video, it's just a snapshot of me like doing something. Like you stand up from the ground, obviously you have like a crappy position. So what this guy's doing, I don't even really knew him.
Yeah.
Then I realized he's just like the other. He's just like to bring audience to his circus,
insecurities. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And then I say, man, let go. I mean, I don't even bother to comment, or respond because I already have been through that with the Bulgarian, with the tack fit, with
there's going to be trolls. There's going to be trolls everywhere. But, to your point about how Onnit has gotten so successful, and I kind of want to dive into, how you got connected and how you fostered that relationship with them. But part of the reason why they've been so successful, for the most part, I mean, they're still a gym. They have their own little issues here and there, but they are very accepting of everyone, right? And they, they bring you in. They have, Mike Fitch, who we had on the podcast, in to teach animal flow certifications. They bring other high quality coaches in to teach their workshops. And it's more about fostering a healthy community, right? So that we can all go do the same things in our own specific areas around the country and around the world. And that's what's really important. And I'm glad that we're starting to see that a lot more in the fitness industry instead of so much tribalism, right? How did it occur where, you were able to get partnered with them? Kind of take us through that whole story. I'd love to hear that.
So it was interesting because mentioning TACFIT before, I was like a TACFIT coach in Italy, and I was organizing like event. One event specifically I was organizing for them was in Capri Island. It was kind of VIP Italian style event. That was fancy, like hotels and fancy food and things. So we had like a very VIP, like 20 people workshop in Capri Island every year. And back then also John Wolf, the director of Onnit, he was in TACFIT, but he was director in US. So we kind of, were kind of in touch and things like that. And what happened that at the event in Capri, Isik, he was at Onnit, Isik, Eric Melton.
Good friend of mine.
So he was there, and then he came to Italy at my event with Scott Son and with Alberto Galazzi, which is also, he was back then into TACFIT. So I met Isaac there. We established this very good, friendship. And then when I came in US, I went to visit them, and I met John, super nice dude, super chill. They helped me out, to clean all my, movement, bodyweight movement stuff, introduce me new stuff and things like that. It was very, very nice to get in touch with them.
Yeah, Isaac used to work at John's gym, right, out in California, I believe.
At Wolf Fitness in Salinas. So what happened is, because what we addressed before, this vibe, this atmosphere was not nice and healthy anymore for me. I mean, I never been a follower or cult. I mean, I like something, I'll do it, but not the kind of person that that's what happened. When people are in one room, if one person starts talking shit, the other people around, they feel like entitled to talk shit because, he does it. The alpha does it. So everybody start doing that. I didn't like that. I don't like that vibe. Instead of, again, getting people in. So I kind of pulled slowly myself out and dedicated more in the Bulgarian bag and other stuff I want to learn, At that point, I had a very good, knowledge about the TACFIT system, So I want to just see, start getting out animal flow, what's all about it, EDO, what's all about it. It's kind of getting this system together, say, it's similar, but it's evolving. I like evolution and things. I don't like to get stale. So then I lost completely, the TACFIT interest. And John, he also pulled himself out from TACFIT. There's some misunderstanding with things. It all came on that again.
Yeah.
Don't
seems like a common theme.
Yep. It's common. It's so common. So then I get connected with John after like a year or two, something like that. Say social media, say, hey John, where are you? What's happening? Like, you know, and he said, moving to Texas to Onnit. I'm talking about Onnit. It's like, what fucking is Onnit? So people say Onnit. What is Onnit? You know, like.
Yeah, I remember my first time, and people were like, "You're going to Austin for what?" I'm like, "I'm going to go to this gym Onnit." They're like, "What? Like on what? You're on it. You're on what?" I was like, "No, it's a gym called
Onnit." Yeah, exactly. So but I'm talking. Before John, there was Mark DeGrasse. I don't know if you guys remember My Med Methods magazine. You guys remember the magazine?
Yep.
So yeah, we had a little subscription to My Med Methods, and that was I knew Mark DeGrasse also. So John took place to Mark DeGrasse. So they had this transition, which John made, you know, what is Onnit now, because, you know, he introduced all the system and everything. He organized better the thing. So he told me, I'm going there because, you know, they asked me to establish like a system around tools and things like that. They're big in supplements. I said, oh, good for you. But they were just like two friends talking. And back then I had the idea about HydroCore. So I was like brainstorming with him and say, hey man, what do you think about this? And then he kind of pursued me like, you know, I was the only person back then. They encouraged me to go forward. Like the world around me said, this is bullshit. So finally I found someone.
It only takes that one person though, right?
Exactly, right? You know, like you say, okay, maybe you have something, right? So during the took me like 2-3 years to develop a prototype. You know, sometimes we were talking and they were telling me this and that, but you know, there was no intention, no idea about putting the product on it. I mean, it was closed, the idea, you know, it was nothing, you know. And so when I had like a better product, you know, one day John called me and say, hey, let's put your product on it, you know, and I have more like, you know, say, a word, can put more word, I can kind of push it. And then I look at it and say, what are you talking about? I mean, like, you know, like this is not even close what Onnit does. I mean, I don't know. I mean, back then my idea was my idea, you know, because, you know, all the alpha male, all the iron around, all the testosterone, there's like a plasticky water-filled tool, like, you know, I say, oh, I mean, let's give it a try. Let's see, you know, you never know, right? You know, I mean, the process like took long because it was not more convincing, but because of the growth, the fast growth of Onnit, there were more important decisions to take. So it kind of slowed down the process. And I had a different opportunity back then, to be honest. I had a different investor. They want to invest, like a couple of investors. One was like, you to put the product on QVC. Like it was Kevin Harrington, the owner of QVC, was one of the Shark Tank in the first two season. And I had a very good proposal from him. He had the intention to put the product the end of the Jenner, the Kardashian mom, whatever the fucking name is there, I don't remember. So he was looking for a new product to put on TV and advertise with the VIP. The idea was to use the Jenner. And then at the same time, it came the proposal from Onnit. So I kind of have to put on the table the two things, you know, and you know, obviously they're both exciting, right? You know, but you know, I'm talking in the stage that Onnit was growing fast, and I'm talking about QVC. I'm talking about
they're huge.
There. I mean, huge, right?
TV, everything.
Oh, it was huge. But you know, I had to realize at that point what was the better option, because you know, for a business perspective, you had to also see, okay, QVC is good, but can be a burnout of the product, because you know, that's what they do. They put the product on the market, they want to sell, you know, huge quantity in 2 months, and then the product is gone. You can kind of lose a reputation, you know. I mean, to be honest, you know, if you see my product QVC, you've never seen it. What are you gonna think? You know, this is like the Foreman grill, right? This is like, you know, like the shaker, right? You know, never a dude like you going to say, this looks stupid, something, Kylie Jenner using it, come on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So kind of you have to figure things out and see, okay, you can make more, but in less time, and then you're done, right? Or I can work on the durability of the product, on the program of the product, and then keep the product on the market longer, and evolve the product in this way. And then I think I did I took the best decision, waiting, because it's still that idea still there to put the product on TV, and but more like not an adjustable one, but already pre-filled one for senior. Yeah. That's my idea. Okay. And still, I'm working on that with an investor to put that on TV for senior, a full program for senior, because it's hard for a senior, like fill up the water, remove the water, with the water, everything, so that's the idea. And so that's the way, like, me and John kind of, connected. He was the person that really, you had a chance to meet John in person.
Oh, fantastic guy. Yeah. A bunch of times.
It's amazing. Yeah. Amazing dude, always like, so positive,
Oh yeah.
And he helped me a lot. He helped me a lot on this process here. So that's why, we will put on the market the new idea I show you, like, secretly before.
We're excited for that one. We're excited for that one.
Definitely.
And I think it just goes to show you that when you lead your life with a certain type of character and a certain type of morality, right, and or a set of values, and you align yourself with like-minded people, and even people who maybe don't align with those values, you can kind of see that, what and who they are for what and who they are. And when you make these meaningful relationships without really expecting anything in return, down the road you usually get what you set out to earn in the first place. And what you're doing with HydroCore and the partnership with Onnit, right? We're talking about two companies that are, leading the way when it comes to facilitating these healthy, positive relationships in the fitness and health industry. 100%. And it's no secret, or it's no surprise really, that you've had so much success early on, right? It's been about a year, and you guys have sold out a couple times. I know they were sold out for a while, which is amazing. I'm glad I was one of the first people to grab one, and I still have mine, use it today. But I want to thank you for coming on the podcast. We're almost at an hour, and you're a tremendous person, and I'm glad we got to really learn a little bit more about your backstory and your thought process on things. And I know we tried to connect in Miami when you were down here at the beginning of the year, and we weren't able to, but I'm looking forward to when we're able to do that again. Yes. If we're out. Absolutely. If we're out in the West Coast, we'll make sure that we link up with you. Before, I know Mendez is going to ask you a couple of rapid-fire questions like he always does at the end of each episode. But before he does that, I want to give you the opportunity to be able to tell people how they can reach out to you on social media, through your website, stuff like that.
Yeah, you can connect with me on Instagram. I have two different profiles, the HydroCore profile, hydro.core, or my personal profile, unconventional.republic. And you can shoot me a message there, whatever you guys need it. We have also HydroCore website. So there's a different way. If you Google my name, it comes up connected to HydroCore. Yeah, that's very easy, simple to do it. Yeah.
Perfect. So I want to say once again, thank you from my end and both Josh as well, for coming on here, taking time to explain to people what you do, what you've created, your partnerships, your experiences, talking about, where things are, for you, especially during these times, and how you were able to grow your product, your business, and also to align yourself with the right brands to be able to do this, and as well, show us the importance of allowing yourself as a coach to explore and not just be so fixated on one segmented system that maybe somebody only breeds and lives by, but allow yourself to go out there and actually discover what else you can do as long as things are safe. With that being said, thank you once again, and ready to light you up with some questions.
Oh, before you roast me, I want to just tell you about the Hydro Reach project. I don't know if you know about it. Is a version, if you see here. Oh, see this thing here, this dude here.
Oh, it's a big one.
version yeah, this is a prototype that we're working on. Is a way to transport water in two world countries. So it's related to HydroCore, but it's called HydroReach, which I'm wearing also. My shirt is a drop of water.
I love that.
And inside.
That's great.
It's a
Well, you definitely
Amazing.
let us know when it comes out because we'll promote the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, pick them up ourselves.
Yeah, so this was something that we'll distribute all over the world. There are people to transport easily water, and it's kind of similar to HydroCore. It's just the valve is different, the handle, and they're gonna have pipe to put like water filter. So that will be interesting.
Amazing.
And I will let you know, guys,
yes,
when we
please
do this.
Do.
Actually,
yeah, please.
Before our meeting, I had a meeting with the company in South Africa that will take over a project. So there will be a big project in 20 countries. They will distribute this product all over the world for disaster relief, transporting water. This is an amazing project connected to
tremendous, man.
So this I'm very proud of it.
Definitely would love to
Congratulations on
Thank you.
starting that up and getting that going, helping so many people. That's remarkable.
Yeah, thank you so much for your part. That was truly amazing.
Thank you.
Question number 1: what is your favorite movement with the HydroCore?
Well, that's a good question because, obviously coming from the Bulgarian bag, what I was doing, I was putting my knowledge inside, the HydroCore and doing all the Bulgarian bag stuff, But what I realized, I like a lot, using HydroCore just from the top handle. So not with the ball handle, but from the top handle. Definitely what I like to do a lot, I like to create the same movement I create with the Klebel. Okay. So this mill movement a lot. It kind of feel like so loose my shoulder. But what I start doing is a lot of I don't know if you've seen some video of me flipping the bag.
Oh yeah.
Good hand, flipping in the air and catching. So I like a lot of this Joe Collier, movement where I let go of the bag, flipping, catching, and go from behind. So there's not one specific movement, but I like this flow. It's kind of, I get in my zone when I'm doing that, I was like, stuff with the ball on the beach, flipping things, but you have to be very careful. Yeah, and sure. Now with the bag, I can do it less intimidation. So it's very easy to do it. So I like, the mill with the flipping and back and catching the side. I mean, I can do that really for 20 minutes straight. It's so fun. That's probably something I like to do a lot.
Incredible.
Love it. Question number 2. I know you mentioned that you had another project you were working on. What's one thing you can tell us about that? One thing.
I can tell it's related to a kettlebell. So, I can tell you something more. Is a transportable kettlebell, but it's very unique and different. And is the possibility to put sand and hybrid. You can put sand, you can put water inside. So awesome. It's very interesting. I'm so excited to put this on the market soon. Possibly we had a conversation with Onnit. So possibly with Onnit. So this will be something that will probably we kind of use with HydroCore and with this. The problem with kettlebell is that using the in-home, some people, they don't want to buy it because, with a nice fancy floor, it can fall on the ground and things like that.
If you saw my floors, they're all fucked up from kettlebell.
So this will be, using in the house. You can attach also resistance training. So is a very versatile in the aspect. You can use it in combination with HydroCore. So it will be interesting. Yeah.
I can't wait to see that, and definitely will be one of the first ones to get our hands on.
100%.
Absolutely.
Last and final question. What is the biggest piece of advice you can leave off to all our listeners today in one sentence?
I'm just, again, going back to our conversation, try to evolve in the things you're doing. Don't just get anything for granted. This is a fitness industry. We need to evolve. We need to learn from each other. If we put that in perspective for a client, we don't use one tool or one system with a client. We use different tools. We reach from all over the place, to move better, to learn more. So just explore, mix the things together. I mean, if you know tag fit, explore animal flow. If you know hardstyle kettlebell, just explore more flowing stuff. I mean, going back to the conversation we had, is you saw Leo Orchides using my HydroCore all the time. He is a big fan. He loves it. I'm so blessed that he like it. The way he evolved the movement of HydroCore is a way that I'm not be able to do it, or will not able to think about it. And I love that. I'm not jealous in any way of what I created be used in a different way. And that's what people do all the time. For example, with the mace, you see the Gada people say, oh, you don't do this, you don't do that. Why not? I mean, this is fun. We want to make fun. How boring it. I mean, I was doing like kettlebell competition, how boring it was that doing snatch for 10 minutes. It's freaking boring. I stopped doing that. It was freaking boring, doing snatches for 10 minutes. Come on, you want to do that. So now with the flow, the flipping, the things, whatever things you can do it, they make it more fun. So don't get just that, thing in a tool or in a system. Explore around, look around, mix things up and make it fun. It's just if you make fun, you are more willing to work out.
Absolutely. You guys heard it. Explore, evolve, keep evolving, and have fun with it. If you want to do all that stuff, don't forget, go buy yourself a HydroCore. Ooh, you can find them at onnit.com. We appreciate you coming on, Maurizio. And until next time, guys. Much love.